India to buy Russian RD-191 rocket engines. Right, so, let's break this story down. Imagine you're running a space program, and you've got big ambitions, more satellites, heavier payloads, maybe even sending people into deep space. But there's one thing holding you back. Your rockets just can't lift enough. That's where India's latest move comes in. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has just made a landmark deal with Russia to acquire a batch of RD-191 rocket engines. These aren't just any engines, by the way. We're talking about high-performance, flight-proven powerhouses that have already launched missions on Russia's Angara rockets since 2014. Now here's the really interesting bit. This deal isn't just about buying some, engines and calling it a day. It's about technology transfer. India gets the full blueprint for the upgraded RD-191 engines. Every nut, every bolt, every detail. That means soon enough, India can build these engines at home. Why does that matter? Well, for starters, self-reliance. Instead of waiting on shipments or worrying about sanctions, India can control its own heavy-lift destiny. And with these engines, the LVM-3 rocket, the country's most powerful launcher, could suddenly carry even heavier or more complex payloads. Think more satellites in one go, bigger missions to geostationary orbit, and even steps towards crewed spaceflight. Let's talk numbers for a second. The RD-191 delivers nearly 200 tons of thrust at sea level. That's a monster compared to most engines in ISRO's current lineup. It runs on a mix of refined kerosene and liquid oxygen, using an oxygen-rich, staged combustion cycle. A fancy way of saying it squeezes every bit of efficiency out of its fuel. Plus, it can throttle down to less than a third of its max power, which is brilliant for tricky multi-stage launches. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Integrating a foreign engine into your own rockets? That's complex engineering territory. There's also the risk of being dependent on another country, especially one facing its own set of geopolitical challenges. But here's the clever bit. This is just a bridging solution. ISRO's actually developing its own semi-cryogenic engine, and in March 2025, they even successfully hot-tested a key component. So, the Russian engines buy India time and experience, while its own tech catches up. For Russia, this deal's a lifeline too. With fewer Western customers after the Ukraine conflict, India becomes a major partner, one willing to invest in technology, not just hardware. The big picture. With these engines, India could become even more competitive in the global satellite launch market, boost its industrial know-how, and gain a real edge, both for peaceful space missions and potentially for defense. So, will this transform ISRO's future? It's looking likely. A proven engine, local manufacturing, and a clear path to even bolder missions. That's a recipe for a launch revolution. I'm excited to see what they'll do next. If you are too, hit subscribe and let's ride this rocket-powered journey together.